Hello and welcome to another update video about Chainlink. Link hasn't really been an update for the last couple of days. Reason is mainly that the chart hasn't moved at all. We've seen a little bit of a recovery, nothing major. However, I wanted to give you an update based on the latest developments. Would also like to take the opportunity to just take a look at the daily chart to zoom out a little bit, talk a little bit about all-time high targets. If we get a recovery, which I hope for, at least it will give you a guideline about sort of new all-time high targets. And then we also take a look at the shorter time frame. But I just want to make you aware of the higher time frame chart because we get new viewers all the time. So obviously they also want to know what's going on the higher time frame. By the way, we do have a playlist which is for long-term charts, and Gala has a video, LINK Chainlink has a video on there as well. So that might be something to look out for, but obviously I cover that information in this video anyway. So if we take a look at possible targets here for a next all-time high, a next run to the upside, just purely based on current lows, you know, this will shift a little bit. Should we make another low to around $4 or $3, but it won't change it a lot. So the target that you typically get, I mean, this here, in my opinion, was a wave one all the way up to around $55, 53, 54. That was back in May 21. We then came down in a WXY correction, in my opinion, here in this wave 2 correction, which contains of those waves WXY, which is a bit more of a complex correction. And yeah, my target is still between 290 and 350. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to go down that low, but I would like to make one more low at least below the June low, which was around 530, I think. So we're going to take a look at that in a minute. Target for the third wave to the upside would be between $90 or 91 and 110. That would be the next larger wave to the upside. Then we would get a wave 4 down in an ideal case. That would be the more shallow correction. And then we should get one more wave up in a wave 5. That should take us to around $143. Bear in mind, these are only guideline targets. These are ideal targets. And depending on how bullish the next bull run really will be, we could even see those targets broken. But it gives you a guideline what you can expect in a new all-time high scenario. So short term, however, short-term Gala has broken the 88.7% Fibonacci retracement on a more sustainable basis now. We're not massively below that level, but we are quite a bit. That is at $6. We are now at 580. We've been below that level now for a few days or even a couple of weeks. That is not a great situation to be in, but in fact most cryptos have dropped below that level now. There are only a few strong ones that haven't, like BNB, like Matic, like QNT. Ethereum also hasn't, and Bitcoin hasn't, and there might be a few other ones. But Link has, but it's still hovering just below it, so it's not really too weak. But a lot of coins are way below it. And that's just something I always mention. We broke below it, danced on that Fib level for a while here, as you can see, end of December. And then we broke below it, and we might now just come up for a retest and will then continue to sell off. So this, what I can, I count this at the moment as a 5-wave move down. Could be an ending diagonal, it could also be an impulse, that's not entirely clear. We have this sort of wedge pattern here that can sometimes extend out a bit, yeah, depending on how many touch points you get where. Trend lines are always a little bit, yeah, subjective. But in this scenario here, if I draw it like that, we've got 1, 2, 3 touch points here now. So it's now really a make or break point here. Does it move up further or not? And then we might have to just shift that trend line. But that's what I think we get here, this kind of ending diagonal, which is also why I'm counting here the wave 3 a little bit shorter than it would ideally be, and things like that. There's a few more things. And ending diagonal patterns, they always look a little bit choppy, and this move down doesn't really look impulsive, at least not yet. I mean, I'm currently looking at this being here, a 5-wave move down in the third wave. It could also be, depending on how this diagonal, if it really is a diagonal, I'm not entirely sure yet, then it could also become an ABC here. I will observe that very closely and then advise on that and change the count respectively, but it doesn't really make a great difference. I see no reason that we are bullish here yet. The move up currently that happens here also looks a little bit corrective, and we are still in this sort of support resistance area. Remember, that's quite an important area here. We had a lot of lows and highs and everything. We finally broke it. However, we're coming up for a retest. So depending on if we break above it now on a substantial basis, we could see some more temporary upside, but until we see a clear impulse, and that would need to be quite a bit, yeah. I remain of my view that we should get down here further, ideally within this channel or wedge pattern, further to the downside into the $3 to $4 region. When would I get more bullish? Well, at least a more bullish scenario I would consider as soon as we break above $7.28. And then that would get more confidence if we break above 780. That would at least move me to into a mood where I, with some skepticism, would observe a bullish scenario, because I think we still need to go down a bit lower. A break above 963 though would be a good sign that we can explore really some more bullish options. And again, I'm not really against it going up now. It's just that we want to stay objective here, and we need to look at what we see in the chart. Ideally, based on the Elliott wave analysis, this is the wave 3 low that is at 530, and we ideally go at least below that level. Otherwise, if we go up from here and really go bullish, it would be a so-called truncated low. It happens, but we can really only consider it if the price action justifies it, which means we should really get a really strong run to the upside. If we don't get that, we cannot really justify a truncated low, and it always leaves a bit of a bad impression if we don't really make that final wave 5 lower than the third wave. And so I still think we get that. Again, at the moment, resistance should be clear here, sort of the 88.7% fib level at around about $6. And then next resistance would be that wave 2 high here at $7.05. And then I gave you the next fib level, which will be of relevance. At the moment, however, I would expect at some point here in the next few days or maybe a week this to turn around and to move down, because the move up, again, it doesn't look very impulsive at the moment. If things change, of course, I will make you aware. Okay, and that's my update about Link. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.